What's up, trekkers? We're back.
Oh.
What's up, trekkers? I hope you liked the new intro. Obviously, there was a long pause between videos. I was not able to make anything on this last deployment just due to the nature of that deployment, but it was just that. It was my last deployment. So right now, gear's getting packed up, house is getting packed up, and there's nothing really I want to do. Nothing crazy after 6 months of working 7 days a week straight, sometimes 12-hour shifts for entire months. What we're gonna do instead is, just to give you guys something, is go over the stuff that I have sitting in my pack that I go camping with. And there's definitely gonna be stuff missing, some stuff that I've forgotten about, haven't been able to acquire yet, or I've just used it and it's gone, so I need to replace it. So if you're seeing anything that you need, go ahead and check the description. There should be a link for everything down here. Aside from that, throw it in the comments if you see something that needs to be here. With that, I know it doesn't look like much, and that's because most of everything after this is going to be water and food. I pack very minimalist and probably bring a couple extra things that I don't need. So first thing we're gonna talk about is this fire starting kit. I find this to be extremely important. This is my ferro rod. All right, and then these are cotton balls put inside of an egg carton and then covered in wax. And what you'll do is you break this apart and you put it in the fire. Well, you put it in and then you spark it with your ferro rod, and then that starts your fire, and they burn real slow. Great way to start it, and they're pretty much waterproof until you break them open to use them. Now, the reason I have this size of a ferro rod is because I've attempted in the past to start fires with one that was like this. And if you can see, I've absolutely, hold on, let's get this focused. There we go. If you can see here, I've completely scraped away the ferro rod that was left before. Now I still have this massive block of what I believe is mostly magnesium, because this is also flammable, and you see it. I've scraped away the bottoms of that just so that I had a little bit of help. But this, all of this was to start a single fire. And there's nothing left. So go ahead, buy the better rod, the bigger one. You know what I mean? Next thing that I'm gonna go over here is my batteries. So I have a few different things here, and I'll bring them over to y'all. But obviously, I like to record stuff, so I have to have chargers and cords like no other. So here's just a couple examples of things that I would bring even if I wasn't recording. So this right here is the Poseidon Nano. As you can see, it'll charge your phone on the back, and then it has the USB-C. So you're going to need the USB-C charger that also has whatever else on the other end, right? And then this is my pack of chargeable. Can I ever get this thing to focus, dude? There's a pack of chargeable AA's, and then just a waterproof pack for my 123s. Now, you guys are probably not going to be using 123s when camping, and I'm probably not either, but my weapon lights, I gotta get down. New camera, by the way. So all these angles are new to me. I'm used to having a whole fishbowl to work inside of, and I don't know if I'm hopping in and out of cam or how much. So if it looks weird, just bear with me. We're gonna get it figured out. And so maybe we can do a little more than just the GoPro, right? But back to the batteries. I use 123s in my weapon lights, like on my Glock, but I have a charger for everything else, right? And that charger will also charge my AA's that are chargeable AA's. This brand of AA's that I have is pale blue. So I'll overlay that or put the link down below. The reason I chose pale blue is because pale blue is actually making these batteries in a way that they will function with your night vision and higher output items so that you can actually function those and not destroy them with bad batteries. So Pale Blue, go and check them out. Definitely worth a buy. Right here I have a tent. I'm not gonna open this up, but essentially it's old school, super old school. I got this at a garage sale a long time ago when I was just a kid, and it has a post in front of the tent and a post at the rear, and it's essentially just a old-fashioned tent. You got to avoid like hitting these posts whenever you're walking out because of the way it's shaped. It'll be like this right in front of you, and you got to like go around it to get out of your tent. I think, what is that, a triangular prism? That's the shape. So here is the bag for the tent. It doesn't weigh a whole lot, and I could get a better one, but I don't really use tents very often. I just keep it in the bag. The tarp in here is more of what I use, right? The tent is basically a tarp in itself, so I just use it like that. In super unfavorable weather, the tent's not gonna hold up any different than a tarp. I could go get a better one, but personally, most experiences, including in the Marine Corps, I've never had a tent except for one time in the Marine Corps. And so I kind of camp with the same mindset. You're cold in a sleeping bag sometimes. If it's not deadly temperatures, and you're gonna be cold either way, you know, why would I want to pack in more weight? Now that doesn't apply to everybody, of course, but maybe some major backpacking events. I forgot I have this microphone and I've been yelling this whole time, so if it's extremely loud, I'm sorry. Next, I'm gonna talk about my water situation. So I have 2 Nalgene's and then this 48-ounce Nalgene as well. They're all spray painted because spray paint your stuff, it's cool. All right, and then I also have 3 liters in this Camelback. So really, it just depends on what I bring. I don't have to bring all of this. This is just what I have available right now for myself. I have other bladders as well. Here's my decon kit. So these are my water purification tablets. I got these off Amazon. Super cheap. I can't remember what I paid, but they are pretty cheap. Definitely worth a look. I also have a Soren filter, Soren squeeze. Okay, so the Sawyer squeeze, this is the thing that you attach to the end of this, which contains your dirty water. So take your dirty water, you squeeze it through this. There's a straw for what, I don't know, because I haven't used it yet, and a syringe, which I'm pretty sure is meant to purge this system. That's a guess based off of what I've seen in other videos. This is just to make sure that I can drink the dirty water around me quicker than using a tablet. So I have a couple of mountain houses as well. Like I said, more food will be in there in the long run, but 3 mountain houses is probably like a day and a half, 1 day worth of food. These are small, they have good calories. I could really push that too. I think 3 mountain houses could last me a whole 2 days if I wanted to. But I don't, so I will not, especially while I'm getting out of the Marine Corps. But we have a jet boil. This is how I would usually, because it's easier, boil my water. And this thing has had some use. It's sandy because I live in the desert and I never clean it after I get back from the field. So it's pretty gross, but it gets the job done really well, and it all compacts inside of here, which is nice. However, the connection for the jet boil only works for the jet boil cup. If you wanted to cook anything else over that burner, you would have to get a different connector, like an MSR pocket rocket, which is probably in the near future. I also have a canteen cup and stand, which I have used before. Use them for your coffee, use them for whatever needs to be done on the side. I have a couple of pans here, smaller, bigger, and a set of forks and knives and spoons. I do have more forks, knives, and spoons. I think one of the things that's really slept on is actually taking out some kind of utensil that's not just for your eating purposes, but for cooking the food, especially if you're camping in one of those more comfortable situations, then like you're gonna want your food to be nice, or the stuff that's gonna piss you off is not being able to flip your fish without shattering it into a bunch of pieces, right? So make sure you bring some utensils as well. As you can see, I also have this whoopee blanket and then a sleeping bag right there. The sleeping bag is no better than this whoopee blanket. They're just two examples of the same thing. I don't have any cold weather experience, absolutely none. Never got to go to Bridgeport and do the cool thing. However, I do understand that this sleeping bag is not worth its weight. Usually I will just bring the whoopee. I prefer it because I like the blanket style better, and if I get hot, I can move it around easier. That's hot weather, you know, blanket stuff. And I'm weird, I have to have the blanket. But in an emergency situation, more likely used for the loss of blood where you can't maintain your body temperature anymore, I do have a space blanket right there sitting on the ISO mat. Is what I would use if I was like extremely cold and I just planned everything incorrectly, or I lost so much blood that I couldn't maintain my own body temperature. Of course, I have bigger problems at that point, but I thought it was worth keeping in here because there's really nowhere else to keep it, right? Might as well bring it with you camping. Right here, I also have my headlamp. I was put onto this by, I think it's 18 Arrows. He is more tactical than anything, but he said he was told about this through the backpacking community. And I thought that that was pretty interesting. So what you have, hold it, white light, you press mode, different brightnesses and sides of the white light, and then your red light. I don't know anything about this light, but it has red light, and the red light's good for you because it doesn't burn your night vision out and animals can't see it, so make sure you have your red light. That's besides any tactical reasonings. Next thing up, I have this, which I was put on by Dirty Civilian. This is more or less for my hunting stuff, or yeah, we'll just say hunting all around, right? What you have here is measurements of certain things at certain distances in mils. This allows you to understand what you're shooting at and how far that thing is. So if you don't know how far something is, you can use this for reference. All right, spare stuff. Okay, this is just an example, right? I do have the beanie in here. I do bring it. I do have these socks. I do bring socks. However, these are just Under Armour ones, but recently I have gotten myself the Darn Tough socks. I highly suggest the Darn Tough socks. They are good, they're great. But this is my example right now because they are upstairs and I didn't feel like grabbing them. Under Armour extra socks, beanie, and then obviously underwear if you need it. Right here I have my compass, okay? This, I'm having a bad day if I need this, but it's here because my life in the Marine Corps is coming to an end. I have no place for this, but you know, a part of my backpacking stuff. And maybe I'll try to do some camping where I'm using only a analog map. If you guys would like to see something like that, let me know in the comments. I will try to plan something out in New Mexico, Colorado. I can get those maps printed for myself and we can teach a little bit of land nav as well as go camping. So let me know what y'all think, but that's what this is for. And finally, we have the pack itself. So this is a Mystery Ranch Sphinx. I can't pronounce that very well. Sphinx 60 liters. So I love this thing. It is phenomenal. It weighs nothing. There's a tactical version that will cost you more, but it has the 1-inch buckles. It comes in more tactical colors. I opted for this because Facebook Marketplace is where I got it from. I bought it for $150. I believe it's a $250 pack. Facebook Marketplace in Southern California is where you find the best backpacking products for way less than they're worth and probably not used at all. This thing was hardly used at all and I got it for like $100 off. I could be wrong on the pricing, but if I just remember the deal being phenomenal. It has a lot of features about it. You can store stuff on the lid, on the underside of the lid. You can store stuff in these two pouches on each side of the front. It actually unzips down the front, which is one of the coolest things. This is like why I'm a huge fan of Mystery Ranch, because that allows you to pack your pack in a way that maybe normally your stuff is not accessible, but with the zipper down the middle, it is now accessible and you're packing mostly for the comfort. It also has pouches here on the side wings, and then straps all around for everything, right? Another thing is step on my stuff. Med kit, big knife. So I use this knife as a chopping knife. Mostly, it is very poor. It is in pretty rough condition, as you can see here. It's not made extremely well. I don't even know who makes it, but I've had it for a long time, and it'll sharpen and it'll resharpen, and it is thick. This thing is not breaking anytime soon. So I keep this on the outside of the pack. It's all strapped in with the straps. And obviously I carry other knives as well. This is my med kit. It still has the medical supplies from the Marine Corps in it. Mostly GSW stuff, gunshot wound stuff, right? Massive hemorrhaging style issues, right? That's what the scissors are for and all that. This is gonna stay the same. However, when I do repack and I have a new individual first aid kit for camping, it's going to involve splints, some packing material just for those massive wounds, massive gaping holes, but mostly splints, tourniquets, and medicines. But as far as a little camping setup goes, this is the starting point. I have food, I will have clean water, okay? I have a way to sleep, and I have a way to cook said food. I have a little bit of medical and a little bit of direction finding, charging, and knives. When we talk about what's necessary, you're looking at it. However, I'm sure I am missing something, probably something huge. So if I'm missing something, please throw it in the comments, guys, and let me know what it is that you guys are bringing out. You know, maybe you didn't bring it out and now you know you have to based off that one time that you needed it and didn't have it. So throw that down in the comments, right? And we'll get this thing fixed up in the right way. I personally am probably gonna rock it this way until I see an issue for something, and I'll go buy it and throw it in the pack. With that being said, guys, I really appreciate y'all watching this video, and I'm sorry for the long wait. I will be making videos twice a month starting here real soon. I don't know if it will be this month, but I will start making them twice a month. The problem is I'm checking out. So while I'm checking out, I have to be extremely busy on the weekends. So like after this, I'll be washing SIF gear and turning it in. Shout out to the homies who know what it's like to wash and turn in SIF gear. Type F in the chat for SIF gear getting turned back. But like I said, guys, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more of the camping stuff, you want to see more range day stuff. I've learned a lot over this last deployment about concealed carry, just pistol marksmanship in general. So you can expect a lot of that and a lot of teaching videos with actual novices, people who have no training. I have a lot of that lined up for when I'm back in Texas. That's everything, guys. We'll see you in the next video.